know what part of the country you're on?
I heard the sound test. I didn't hear anything else.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jen. Guys, thank you for joining us. We are now live. We are talking to folks across Canada. We are talking to folks in the United States, and I just want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon, or again this morning, depending on where you're at. Now, with that, a couple things I want to go over, a couple little technical aspects, I guess. We've got sound. If you've got sound issues, check your microphone, maybe use your phone, whatever it be. Again, we can't help you at this point. We're like live right now, but sound. Second thing is video resolution. You might see that the resolution on your screen is a little bit fuzzy. It might be a computer, it might be the web, who knows, it's technology, but hey, we're here together. Let's try to make the best of it. Third thing, Q&A. Questions, if you've got any, I'm going to be watching for them. Go ahead, punch them into the little dashboard you got with the webinar. I will get to them at the end. Guys, I'm going to try to get through this stuff really quickly. We're going to try to do it in 20 minutes flat. If I run on, and for those of you that know me really well, I tend to run on. I will ramble. That said, I hope there's a ton of value for you guys here. If you got to leave after the 20 minutes, see ya, thank you, and let me know if you got any questions. If you want to stick around and ask a whole bunch of questions, I'll stick around as long as you guys need me. So with that, let's get into this. So you've been told you need a CRM, eh? What kind of CRM? Which CRM? Do you have a CRM? If you've got a CRM, could you be using it better? If you don't have a CRM, why? You see, this is the big thing out there. Everybody talks about having a CRM, and it's this whole idea of, okay, I went and I got one. And my big question is like, well, what are you doing with it? And most people go, well, you know, I don't really know. It's not working for me. Let me tell you something. CRM doesn't work for you. You work for it. It's not always putting your hands in, and yes, you want it to help you with stuff, but that being said, if you're not doing part of that stuff, the other part of it, it ain't going to do the things you want it to do. So let's go through that. There's 4 types of CRMs. I want to break it down. There are 3 ways or 3 pillars you need with your CRM, and we're going to give you 3 easy takeaways that you can walk away from today and implement. And I'll tell you something, they're easy, they're effective, and they work. Number 1, we've got the 4 types of CRMs. So first of all, there's the big black hole. Big black hole. This is my smartphone, an Excel spreadsheet, Outlook. All of these systems are great, and quite frankly, guys, if you do have your database in one of those systems, I'm in. I love it. You're keeping track of contacts. Beautiful. If you haven't got anything like that, what are you doing? This is a people business. So again, type number 1 is the big black hole. It doesn't do enough. Number 2, we've got the reporting CRM, stuff like Salesforce.com. Wicked system. The biggest thing, though, is it's for upward reporting. So, like, you know, if you've got a manager or a boss and you got to tell them what you're doing every single day, you know, upward funneling, letting them know what you're up to. Wait a second. You're in real estate. We don't need to tell people what we do every day. So, number 2, reporting, you don't need it. Then there's the third kind. There's the kind that says, hey, you can do. And this is the one that, you know, you might be getting from the big brand. They might be passing it down to you guys. This is one that you might find online. This is one that's out there that really is again, it's attached to all sorts of stuff, but unless you go in and do these things, it does nothing for you. So again, what kind of what kind of ROI, what kind of competitive advantage is it giving you out there when you're out there talking to people? The key is you want this thing working for you. So there's the 4th type, the one that actually does for you. Now that might sound a little bit contradictory because I just said, hey, the ones that do for you, they don't do for you, you got to do for it. But here's the key. Let me break this down and make it simple. If you've got a CRM that actually does something for you, while you're sitting there presenting listings, presenting offers, showing houses, whatever it be that you're doing in a day, the key is that the CRM is working for you on a regular basis. It's out there, it's got marketing happening, and the 3 pillars to your CRM, really, your calendar, your contact list, and your marketing. And if you've got all 3 of those items connected to each other, which this thing simply doesn't do, then you're winning. So, now, we've got this type of CRM. We got the one that's doing for you. It's helping you out. And these are the things that I like to talk about with predictable days, income-producing activities. Things you need to be doing on a regular basis, right? Knowing what you're up to every single day. When you look at your calendar, when you wake up in the morning, what am I going to do today? Who am I going to call today? What little brush strokes am I going to do today in my business to paint the bigger picture so that I'm getting a lot more money and I'm building a ton of ROI? Well, this is again where the CRM comes in, and we're going to break this down for you. So again, those 3 pillars. We've got contact list, we've got calendar, and we've got marketing. And I know some of you might say, hey, Dave, I got a CRM in with my website. And I say to you, yeah. Well, you know something, if you got a CRM with your website, what's it doing for you? Well, it's connected to my website. Well, I say, yeah, Tim Hortons can sell steak dinners, but it's not what they do. So the CRM is great, and again, I really love the fact that you're tracking stuff. But what's it doing for you? And I'm going to get in there and I'm going to show you that in a moment, what to do. Okay. The next thing to that, and I want to stay on track here so that we stay on your time because I really, really want to be cautious of your time here. But again, that system connecting to your contact list, connecting to your calendar, connecting to your marketing, we're going to get into that stuff right now. And it's about staying top of mind. You guys, if you're watching my videos, and I hope you are, in fact, check us out. I don't know if everybody can read that. At KidsPack on Facebook. Go to Facebook. Type in @KidsPack, like us on Facebook, check out the videos. And in those videos, I'm talking a lot about predictable days with income-producing activities, and I go over that. I go over mind share, that whole top of mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction. And again, if you're using a CRM properly, you're going to be doing that. You're going to be building the mind share. You're going to have the predictable days, and guys, we're going to make a hell of a lot of money in 2017. So let's check out a CRM. I'm going to show you the one that I use. I use this every single day. Today is Wednesday. Last night on Tuesday night, I'm looking at my CRM, and I'm doing it on my mobile. So everything is cloud-based. Everything is right here in my hands, because how often are you guys really in front of a computer? How often are you guys really sitting at your desk? You're normally in the car running around doing your things. So that's why you need a CRM that's fully mobile for you. Now that you got this mobile CRM, and I'm looking at it Tuesday night, I'm going, okay, what do I have to do on Wednesday morning? I get into the office on Wednesday, and whether I do it on my desktop or I do it on my smartphone, I'm tapping into what I need to do. So I'm going to show you how I do that on a regular basis and how I stay on top of being in touch with all of you, because I know you guys know that I like to stay in touch. And I know that you guys know that I probably stay in touch pretty consistently. Now, that to me is, again, those value add things, right? People out there talk about items of value. Great. Whatever you want to call that, it's that value add, right? It's that, hey, touching on the shoulder, going, I'm here. Lights are on, doors are open, we're open for business. And when you think about a neon flashing open sign on somebody's window, convenience store, when you think about that light on top of the taxi cab, letting you know that they're open for business. Well, again, if you're using your CRM properly, that's how you let people know you're open for business. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to go into my CRM right now, and I'm using Loop CRM. It is our program here, but again, totally functional, and I'm going to give you an example of how to make use of your CRM. So let's get in there. I'm going to log into Loop, and naturally, I'm going to end up on the home page. Well, right away, I'm going to skip that because the reality is I want to see what's going on my calendar. So I get to my calendar. Guys, forgive me, I'm going to pause a little bit, slow down a little bit, just to make sure that we're keeping track of what you guys are seeing on your screen. So I'm watching a live feed of what you see. I want to make sure that everything I've got on here does show up on your screen as I'm talking. There we go. Perfect. So I'm looking at my calendar, and I see what I have to do today. So I go to the 23rd, and by the way, guys, this is a demo calendar, so it's not as busy as my calendar would be. But that said, you want to have a lot of things to do in a day, right? So when I look at the 23rd and I see here I've got a number of different items. First off, I use color coding. So one thing I always advocate to everybody is use that color coding. Why? Well, for example, for me, and as you're looking at the screen, orange, you can see the webinar is in there. I have to be here. Red, come hell or high water, I better get this done today. Green, I got a deal coming in. Yellow, I got to make a phone call. Blue, there's an inquiry from somebody. I'm hoping to get back to you today, and for some reason, if I can't, I know that I can move that over to tomorrow. But as long as I have all those items in my calendar and I know what I want to do every single day, now I've got a plan of action. Because when the phone maybe doesn't ring or maybe the email doesn't go off as often, I have what to do. Or maybe I'm supposed to have a meeting with somebody and they call me 5 minutes after we're supposed to meet and they say I can't make it. You know, that happens. So that's, again, where I can look at my calendar and go, what can I do now with my time? And again, I'm going to show you 3 easy ways to use this thing. But first, I want to take you through the system and kind of give you visuals of how I'm operating with the CRM every day. Because if you have one and it's just sitting there, you're not doing enough with it, how's it making you money? So let's look at this. Back to the calendar. I've got all these items here. I'm going to tap on one particular contact because I look and I say, okay, well, I've got to call this guy Kane. So I tap on this guy's information, and you can see here it looks very Google. So if anybody here is using Google, the whole system is very, very Google-esque. It syncs with Google as well, which is awesome. But with that said, I see Kane. Now, why do I have to call this guy? What is it about? Well, I'm going to click on the information button. I'm going to get a little bit of email info, phone number. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click edit. And that's going to take me to Kane's contact profile. Well, from there, I go to the activities tab, and I see all of my notes. Now, again, this is the demo account, so the notes are a little bit sparse. That said, when you look at those notes, I've got a whole bunch of notes in there about what we've talked about in the past. What emails have gone out to this guy from my automated marketing? how many contact points I've had, and there's a running list here. I can even filter that list and say, show me all of my notes, show me just my recent notes. I can print these notes. But the key is now I know what I'm talking to this guy about. So I'll then go back to the contact tab. I'll grab a phone number, maybe I'll grab an email address, whatever it be, and I'll pick up and I'll do my thing. So I'll pick up and I'll call the guy. And again, I'll give you a few takeaways in a few moments of what to say and why, but again, you might have these planned and you might know exactly why you're calling them. So you pick up the phone, you do your thing. Now, fast forward, end of the call happens. What do? We go to the notes. Click on the note. Add a note. This is a test note on today's webinar. And who cares about spelling because you're the only one reading it, right? Well, hit save, go back to my activity tab, and all my notes are there. So now I've got my running history. Well, what do I do next? I've saved it. I go back to my calendar. I open up my calendar again. And again, guys, I'm just watching your screen to make sure that you guys are keeping up with what I'm talking about. I go back to this individual's contact record or event in my calendar. And maybe at this point I go, you know what, I just got to touch base with them in like 3 or 4 months now. And this is, again, that tiny little brush stroke, right? This is that part where we're adding additional value. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to choose, let's just say, a random date in February. We'll choose February 8th. I don't know why, whatever. I'm going to keep the color the same, even though I could change it if I wanted to. And I'm going to hit save. Now what happens is he's no longer in my calendar here. However you organize your calendar is up to you. I personally, when I'm done with something, it's kind of like putting a check mark and a strike through it. I don't want to see it anymore. I want to know that it dealt with it. It's that whole thing of, again, just how I manage my days. So now that item's gone, and I'm on to my next item. And I keep working through my calendar throughout the day to make my calls, to make my connections, to make my contacts. And I got other stuff that's going on. Again, the phones are ringing, the emails going off. There's other things that happen in the office with other team members of mine. There's the social media posting I want to do. But this is the core. You see, we've got two audiences. We've got the people that know us, and we've got the people that don't know us. And I'm not going to go into my whole rant about that stuff. And some of you have heard of it, and I'm going to keep going on that because I truly, truly, truly believe that if we're always out there going after strangers, we're spending a lot of money, and we're not making as much ROI as we should be. Whereas if we go after group number one, those people that, like the contact list, the people that we know us, like us, trust us, the 70 to 90% of our income on a regular basis, or we're going to spend a lot less money and make a hell of a lot more. I don't know about you, but the logic to me says work that contact list. And again, that's why we're using the system. So looking at the calendar, we see all these people we have to call. We work through those, we add our notes, we schedule ahead, and we keep moving. You want to talk and break down what's good for you, what kind of touch points you should be doing. That's really an individual thing that I like to do with people. I'm going to give you those 3 suggestions, but again, on an individual basis, you might be doing a hell of a lot of stuff out there that we got to augment what else you can do. And that's, again, working through it one-on-one, which I'm happy to do with each and every single one of you at any time. Flip me an email, call me, check us out on Facebook, whatever it be, I'm here for you. Let's keep moving. So we talk about calendar, very quickly giving an overview of the calendar. We've got our month, we've got our week view, day view, we've got an agenda view. And that agenda view pulls onto your homepage within Loop. It's a really sexy looking homepage. It's very useful. It's fun. It's easy to look at. All that good stuff. And we've got a reminders window. And again, this reminder window will pop up for us automatically every 24 hours to remind us what we need to do out there. Now, going back to that, so we've got our calendar in front of us. We've got a micro calendar at the top left to sift through different dates. Again, this is pretty easy stuff. You've got to search the calendar, so you type in somebody's name or whatever it be, whatever item is in that calendar, it will show you that. And then you've got your different views. And as a KITS member, you will see something like KITS activities. And this is when we're doing our data pulls, our publishing, our scheduling, anything that we're doing for you, automatically doing for you. We do it for you. We do some really, really awesome marketing, and I'll show you that in a second. But you can uncheck that view so that you don't have to see all the noise we create on a regular basis. And then when you want to tap back into it, you can do it. Much the same, something like life events, people's birthdays, anniversaries, whatever they've got. You can uncheck that view or, again, recheck that view to be able to see it. If you've got anybody else who's using KITS that's part of a team, or you've got a team and you want to take on Loop and have multiple accounts for people, you can start to share your different calendar items. So you can share contacts, you can share calendar items. You can even add additional views for your calendar. So again, for those of you using Google, this is very much like Google, where you've got that ability to have your different views, turn them on, turn them off. With that, speaking of Google, You can sync your calendar with Google. So again, by going in there once, clicking sync your calendar, it's going to ask you for your email, it's going to ask you for your password, it's going to let you do that connection with each other, and now it's all going to be there. And now you're going to have your entire Google Calendar right in with your Loop calendar. Why? I like using my calendar on my phone. Yeah, again, let's talk about that for a second. Go into your contact list on your phone. Don't do it right now, but like do it after, check this out. Go into your contact list on your phone and see if you can actually schedule an event with somebody in your calendar. I'm going to tell you, you can't do it. You could go to your calendar on your phone and schedule with somebody in your contacts so you can invite them. But then what do you do about the notes? What do you do about reminders? What do you do about birthdays and all the running history you've got with this contact? And then where does the marketing happen? So yeah, you might have the calendar on your phone, but it's not completely functional for you. And that's, again, why you want to tie it all together. You see, for me, not only do I have my business information in here, so all of you guys that I like to keep in touch with, I've got my business information in here, so in terms of all my publishing schedules. I've also got my family stuff, so my little man, my little girl, my wife's yoga schedule, all that stuff is funneled right into the same calendar. And again, by checking on and off certain views, I can see more or less noise. But again, one centralized location. The next thing is the task list on here as well. You can create a task list, so you can have different things for some of your clients, whatever it be. You know, you got to go to the Home Depot, the grocery store, or put up a sign on somebody's lawn. You can keep this task list here, and again, this task list will also funnel back to your home page. So again, the calendar, completely functional. The system operates like a calendar, not like a spreadsheet. It's a lot visual. It's visually easier for us to work like this because we're used to this, and to get a very Google sort of Outlook type of feel to it. Now, that's the first part of it. The second part of it is the contact list. So we click on contacts. Pardon me, wrong button. We click on contacts, and here we've got our entire contact list. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I love going back to this thing because for all of us, the smartphone has totally changed our world. And so with that, because we're running around with this thing all the time and we're totally mobile out there, we're always looking at this thing. But like I say, and I've told many of you this before, I've got about a dozen painters in this thing. Painters. People that have painted houses. Don't remember who they are. Don't remember which house they painted. Don't remember what colors they put on the wall. Don't remember if I liked them, if I didn't like them. I got no idea because all I got in there is like Painter Dave, Painter Mike, Painter Judy. Well, that doesn't do anything for me because all I got is a phone number. I don't have a last name. I don't have an email address. I don't have a mailing address. I don't have any of that stuff. So I'm going to tell you, I would not put all those painters in here unless I had proper information. It doesn't mean I need to have a mailing if I've got an email. Maybe I have both. Maybe I only have an email, or maybe I only have mailing. The point is I've got complete contact info that now the system can start to communicate to people for me when I'm doing something like a webinar for 20 minutes. And I might run on a few more minutes than 20. Sorry. Now, keeping going with that. We look at the contact list, and just a quick glance at this to understand how this works. We've got our marketing here. What are people using for marketing? So again, being able to tag who's getting direct mail, who's getting email, who's getting one of your wicked, awesome wow calendars. More calls that you get on your birthday. They're amazing. And thank you to everybody who's placed orders. We've got like thousands upon thousands of orders already placed. It is totally exciting. We are working like little elves, and we're working really hard to get those things out for you. So that's the marketing. We've got activities. We've got your different activities. Who's working with you? Who's an active buyer? Who's an active seller? Who might be closing? So again, it's taking a massive contact list of people that you've got and it's starting to funnel that back down to go, look, yeah, you got all these people on your list, but like here's the group you're working with. And again, that group funnels back to your home page, and I'll show you that in a few moments. You get your first names, your last names, your mailing address. You got all the information about these people. You can start to even filter this list, and this is really cool. Watch this one, okay? There's a lot of talk out there about like your A's, your B's, your C's, and I use my A's, B's, and C's in a totally different light than a lot of people. Some people rank their contacts, A+, A, B, who do I want to be in touch with more often? Who sends me a ton of referrals? The reality, guys, there is no right or wrong. It's what works for you, and that's something to always keep in mind. In all the marketing you do and everything you do is what works for you. So let's click, the filtering. You can filter by marketing. You can filter by relationship type. Show me all my past clients. You can start to filter by show me my house types and my holidays. Show me everybody who just celebrates Christmas. And like I was just saying there, again, your A's, your B's, your C's. You can even start to group people and create custom groups. Searching your contact is really easy. And if I scroll to the bottom, watching the screen, you can delete people, you can add people, you can edit people, you can export your list to an XLS or a CSV format, you can print off mailing labels if you needed to for anything else you got to do out there. So again, a very, very functional contact list. Now, let's click on a contact. I'm going to click on contact number 1, Mr. Kane Billingsley. We've got a full contact profile here about this gentleman. I've got a first name. I've got a last name. Some of this other information, you know what? If I want to put it in, I can, but like, do I need to? Totally up to you. Like I said, it's what works for you, but it's making sure that you've at least got the proper contact info and you've spelled the person's name correctly, because like if you don't spell their name correctly and you mark it to them, whoa, wrong. Now, first names, last names. Does Kane have a significant other? Does that significant other have the same last name? Salutation, so we can start to get short form. Like, I'm David Greenspan. You could call me Dave. You could call me David. Yo, buddy. Mr. Greenspan, I don't know, guys. I'm not that formal. But hey, if you want to, right? It depends on how we know each other. So again, using a salutation is going to really personalize the marketing. Now, again, high level on this. I can tell you a million different ways to use this thing, and I'd like to break that down. We're going to get into those, but I could spend all day with this stuff on you. Relationship keys. This is where you start to select things like, what language do they speak? How do you know the person? Because, again, the relationship with somebody, it's huge. For those of you that are KITS members, I would love to have your referrals. For those of you that are not, I'd love to earn your business. For those of you that own an office that are on with us today, I'd love to come in and do a presentation. But you see, there are 3 different calls to action. Ask the right question, get the right answer. House types, breaking down what kind of home they live in. Are they in a freehold home? They don't care about, condo bylaws. Are they in a condo apartment? They don't care about eavesdrops and driveways. Are they renting? They don't care about renovations. You get what I'm saying? So it's, again, tagging who these people are so we can be relevant with them. And again, in some of that automated marketing, we can start to use this information, which, by the way, we're the only ones that use information like this, like the only ones. This is true one-to-one marketing. Don't let myself get me started. Categories, again, A's, B's, C's, grouping. Here's a big one. You're going to have groups from 1 to 15. And you can see here, I've created custom groups. I've created a hockey team. I've created a realtor group, sign calls, referrals, whatever it be. If you do charities, what about tradespeople? We can go in there now and say, okay, this person's part of my group of tradespeople, and I'm now going to add this person in as a plumber. I know I was having a conversation with somebody in particular who's on this call yesterday, and we were talking about being able, and I'm going to go back one screen, to select, are these people active buyers? Are they active sellers? Are they leads? And again, all that stuff's going to funnel back for you to your home page. We'll show you that in a few moments. You know who you are. So back to the relationship keys tab. You can select holidays for people. Again, we in your marketing will use that to actually wish somebody a happy whatever to that one individual, not a blanket message, because again, we know who they are. But you can also use that further down the road for anything you need to do. Background and in-touch dates, taking notes. In this notes section, it would be things like, do they have a dog? What kind of interest? What's their kids' names? However, and I'm going to skip right to the last tab right now. I already showed you this about 10 minutes ago with the activities. This is where we're going to keep our running history of notes. So again, we're going to click on the clipboard. We're going to keep our running history of notes. We could even, if we want to, set a quick appointment. That's going to go right into our calendar. So again, we've got that seamless connection between our contact list and our calendar. Now, moving to the Life Events tab, tracking birthdays, home anniversaries, getting reminders. All that information is going to populate your calendar. It's also going to give you reminders 10 days in the day before. You see what's happening here with the CRM? It's starting to work for you. It's starting to help you remember who to talk to and when to talk to them. And if it can make your life easier with that, and you can wake up every morning and go, okay, I know I'm going to search the MLS a little bit. I might hit Facebook or do one of those things. And I know I've got some appointments today. But what about those middle of the road gaps that you've got? That hour, that half hour, that few hours. Let's keep moving. Email information, tracking email. By the way, CASA legislation, July 1st, 2017. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Property details, creating action plans. So if you've got properties in there for people, you're going to do another webinar on that. Buying details, tracking the properties they're looking for, and again, that activities tab. So the sort of sum of that is you got a really, really, really functional contact list, and it's all available right here for you. Again, tied back to your calendar. Now here comes that third pillar, the marketing. And this is where this entire system is connected to the amazing KITS Keep in Touch marketing. This is stuff that you might have similar stuff out there if you're doing newsletters, but they're sort of ho-hum, they're kind of the old school way of doing things. Guys, technology is moving fast, really, really fast, as is the marketing world. And so it's a matter of using some of the old tricks, the old dog tricks that we know are tried, tested, and true, but implementing some of that new technology and that new strategy to make it better. Flip phones, smartphones, they both make the call. One just does a heck of a lot more. Loop. is that one. So we've got the marketing with the direct mail, and this is again when I talk about doing it for you. We've got the most coolest kick-ass newsletters there are out there. We've got email newsletters built into the system. You've got geofarming flyers built into the system if you want to order those. I talked about our wicked, awesome calendars. If you haven't ordered them, you got to do it. You're going to thank yourself for doing it after. And we've got drip campaigns for buyers. So again, there's a ton of information within here. And you've even got social media content, which is literally click to share. So there's an easy way to be present on social. And guys, I got my 2 cents on social. It's free to do everything on it. Don't pay people for it. There's content right here. We got an amazing, amazing, amazing set of writers in this place. So again, the content's going to be awesome. It's going to be astute. Your contacts are going to love it. But again, it's going to give you a presence on social media. And if you don't know how to do it, go here, click on marketing, click share, close your eyes, click the button, and it's gone. You've now got a presence on social. So again, there's where we're tying the marketing back to the calendar and back to the contact list. There's a sum of how to use a CRM. We're using the calendar to help us schedule. We're using the contact list to keep track of everybody we know. And we're using the marketing to reach out to people when we're not there. That's what your CRM should be doing for you. If it's not doing that stuff, you're not taking advantage of that contact list. You see, your goal, go in, write the notes, schedule, talk to the people, schedule ahead, and keep moving. Now, let's get into those 3 things I talked about. 3 things that you can do today as an easy takeaway to make a CRM more effective for you. Some of those tools only available here. Some of those tools, though, all you got to do is here. And some of the stuff you might already have back here, and I'm just going to bring it to the forefront this afternoon because, again, it's easy, easy stuff. Number 1, using life events. Which ones? Life events. Let's go to the contacts. We go into back to Kane, okay? We go in there and we say, okay, we've got a life event. We've put in his birthday, his home anniversary, maybe his anniversary, maybe his wife or significant other's anniversary or birthday, whatever it is. Here's the key. When we put this information in, it's going to go into our calendar. We're going to see it in our calendar. And I truly believe we've lost that art of wishing somebody a happy birthday. You see, back in the day, we actually used to take a pen and we'd put it on paper and we'd write somebody a handwritten note about happy birthday, hope they have an awesome day, we love them, whatever. We'd stick it into an envelope, we'd put it in the envelope, we'd lift the envelope, we'd lick the stamp, stick it on, send it off. Now you think about it, when was the last time you got a card like that? And if you got one recently, didn't you keep it for a little bit? Like, it's cool. And then when you see those ones that are totally pre-printed and you know they're pre-printed, we just like, I do. So if you ever send me a pre-printed card, I'm not going to pay attention to it because I don't think it's heartfelt. I don't even know if you sent it yourself, right? Was it an automated system? This is my birthday. This is like right here. Do it in a personal way. So if we're like kind of casual buddies, maybe it's like a Facebook post. If we're like closer, maybe you're text messaging me. Hell, if we're like really close, get out there and let's see each other. But again, guys, here's one really, really easy takeaway. Connect with people on their birthday. It is a small, silly little excuse to be there. Tiny little brushstroke, right? And never, don't ask them if they want to buy or sell a house when you wish them happy birthday. Keep the real estate completely separate. You are not calling to do that. And on that note, by the way, guys, again, people business, you help people buy and sell, you got to make them comfortable with you. So having a conversation with a guy the other day, he was mentioning about comfort. It is comfort. Again, you know who you are. It's about the comfort. We got to build that comfort with people. And that's, again, where these little tiny things you do are going to be making people more comfortable with you. And again, you make that call, you schedule the note, call them on his birthday, schedule ahead, 3-4 months, whatever it is. What's the next touch point? Well, here's takeaway number 2. Takeaway number 2 is using the geo search feature. Geo search. Now, this is something unique to Kits or Loop, both. You go into geo search. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to share my location with the system. Now, when I go in there, I'm going to say, okay, my location. I am going to pick, 5 kilometers. And I could filter this list. Now, pardon me, what am I doing here? Well, I was supposed to have, I was supposed to run around and show some houses this morning. I had about 2 hours blocked off of my calendar. All of a sudden, 5 minutes after we're supposed to meet, I get that call, like, can't make it today. And now all of a sudden you're going, oh my God, I got 2 hours to kill. What do I do? And I've said this one before. You can go practice your golf swing, or you can get out there and actually communicate with people. Well, what do I say? What do I do? And again, guys, if you don't already know what to say, that's a problem. Here is something, though, to help you spark that. Good example. I had a house that was listed down the street from me, actually 3 doors over from me. And at the time I thought, if the house sort of sold for like 950, as a homeowner looking at that sale, I go, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm up a few bucks, right? Like on paper, I'm up a few bucks, but I'm up. Well, house was listed at 1 million. A week later, it sold for 132, $320,000 over asking. Now, I got no intentions to sell. Please, no phone calls, no emails. I am not selling. That said, though, again, my wheels were spinning. I'm going, wait a second, $320,000 over asking, and hell, had I got 900, never mind 1 million, I would have been happy. That's $420,000 more than I would have expected my house was worth. You think you might have sparked maybe the thought of like, hey, Steve, how much is my house going to cost, or what do you think? What do you think I can get for my house? Pardon me. Okay? That type of stuff. Like, what you're doing is you're sparking that. You're creating that, and I might blow you off and go, hey, yeah, thanks for the call. See you later. Track the note. So let me give you an example. And I'm running way beyond 20. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for sticking with me here. We go into the geo search feature, okay, and this is wicked cool. You go in there, you do the my location, you can enter an address, and this could be your listing, it could be somebody else's listing. Hell, all you know is you've got like a block of contacts that live around there. So you go in there and you say, okay, and we could filter too. We could sit back and say, show me just my hockey team, or show me just my past clients, or just my freehold people. For today's example, it's a demo account and not a lot of contacts in there, I'm going to just do everybody. So what I've said again is my location, I've said 5 kilometers, and I hit search. And what the system does now is the system actually pulls up contacts that live within 5 kilometers of where I am. So again, I might be sitting in my office, which I am actually right now sitting in my office, but I could be sitting in my office. I had that phone call about the cancellation. Who's around me? Who can I go see? Who can I call? Who can I find a listing to tell them about, right? So here's what I would do. Let's say we got the subject property. I would go in, I would do my geo search. It would pull up my contacts that live within that certain parameter. I then click list. With list, I'd say I'm going to save this. So test list Nov 23. I hit save. What's just happened now is I've brought that over and I've got in saved searches, I've got this list. And I click on that eyeball. I see the 12 people that came up that live within 5 kilometers of where I am right now. I now click the information tab and I can call my first contact, Alan. And I can ask Alan how little Betty and Stephen are doing, and I can talk about the birds and the bees if I want to, but quite frankly, my 2 cents to you is, no. Alan, how you doing? No, let's do it like this. Hey, Alan, how you doing? It's David from ABC Realty. Yeah, Dave, I'm just walking into an appointment. What's up? Listen now, real quick, there's a house that just went up for sale around the corner from you. Didn't know if you knew about it or not. I just wanted to call and let you know. Okay, great, Dave. Thanks for the info. Wait, Al, you got any plans on like selling or maybe like you know anybody that wants to buy in the neighborhood? Dave, no idea, buddy. I gotta go. I'm going into a meeting. Al, thank you for your time. Now, how would you say that call went? I'd say it like wasn't so great. Well, it didn't sound so great, but at the same time, I'm going, that was a wicked call. Why? Because you just went and you touched that guy. You did the little tap, I'm alive, I'm open for business, and I was thinking about you. Now, he wasn't so receptive to it, but what are you going to do? You're going to go in. You're going to add your notes. You're going to schedule ahead. And now, again, predictable days with income-producing activities. We know we spoke to Alan. We don't need to call him every single day, so we'll put him 3 or 4 months out in our calendar. We'll have the notes of what we called him last about. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that same thing with everybody on my contact list. Now, let's say I called about property, I don't know, 123 Anywhere Street. Well, I'm going to go into my MLS. I'm going to do a quick search for 123 Anywhere Street. I'm going to do those auto updates so that I'm seeing what happens with that property. Now, let's say it sells 7 days later. And what we're going to do, and I'm going to do this now, we go to our home page. We know that it sold 7 days later. We go to the Loop homepage. Watch from your screen. Here we go. And we click on the drop-down menu. These are really, really easy to use drop-down menus, right? But we click on the drop-down menu, and it shows us all of our geo search reports. Oh, here's that one of 123 Anywhere Street, and it just sold. So here's what we're going to do. And this is about 7 days after we've done the first phone call. We're going to go back to that list. We're going to tap on it again. We're going to pick up the phone. Hey, Alan, how you doing? It's David again from ABC. Dave, what's up now, man? Dave, what's up? Okay, Al, I know, man. I know. I'm sorry. Listen, quickly. You know the house I called you about the other day? Yes, I know you weren't interested in selling. Alan, hold on a second. It was listed for $1 million. It sold for $1,332,000. It went for $320,000 over asking. Wow, Dave, really? Hey, listen, I am walking into that meeting, but can you call me later? I'd like to know what you think you might be able to get for my house. I can do that, no problem, Al. Click. How did that call go? Again, didn't start off so great, but you left some value. You got the wheel spinning. And you got to believe that when he goes home and he starts watering the grass and then a shovel in the snow, that he's thinking to himself, wow. Or he's saying to his wife or whoever, honey, did you know that we could potentially get a lot of money for our house right now? The market's crazy. You are sparking the potential of a potential deal. You're doing that by just those little tiny value add calls. Now, guys, your job is not every day to go out there and search for a listing. Although we want one every single day, and it'd be nice to have like 365 listings a year. That'd be beautiful. The goal here is not to go and try to get a listing every single day. It's to try to add value. So again, if you're calling 12 contacts or 50 contacts or 20 contacts, how many you can get through in a day, and you're letting them know the price of a house that just sold around the corner from them, all you're doing is getting the wheel spinning and the touch point. Put the note, track ahead, move it ahead in your calendar, move on to the next person. So that was number 2, okay? Again, using the geo search feature within Loop to make those value add calls. And not only can you do it by searching your location, but you can actually go in and draw an area on the map and use the little dingbat that's here and go through and just draw the area, put it there together, and hit, pardon me, search. And it's going to, again, pull all those people up. So you might be at a doctor's appointment or dentist appointment or whatever appointment it is, and you go, you know what, who lives around here? Check it out. It's right there for you. The GeoSearch tool is awesome. Start using it today. This is a really, really easy one. And guys, if you're not with Loop yet, call us. We can get you on. If you don't have any inclination to using it or using the system, whatever it be, again, this is the type of stuff you can do which is really, really easy. Yeah, but I'm busy. Yeah, but I got to show houses. Excuses. This is the value add. This is the comfort stuff. This is the stuff that actually paints that big picture. Okay, so now, number 3, and this is a really important one. You guys got to pay attention to this. And most people haven't been paying attention to this. But we know how much the Competition Bureau loves you guys as realtors, right? That whole thing with the MLS and everything, you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. Competition Bureau and the CRTC are in charge of mandating and legislating the new CASL legislation, the Canadian Anti-Spam legislation. Now, I know this kind of seems like old news, right? Because July 1st, 2014 is when this whole thing started. We're sitting here November 23rd, 2016. So it's been a couple of years already. Maybe sort of a behind-the-door thought now or something nobody's even paying attention to. Well, I want you guys to take it very seriously. Fines as an individual can be anywhere from $200 to $1 million. Fines as a company could be anywhere from $200 to $10 million per email. So take a tiny little email blast of 200 people. You're doing a tiny email blast for 200 people, you get a minimum fine because you get like really lucky, and it's $200 an email. Do the math. That's 40 grand. It's a lot of money. So take this thing seriously because, again, the Competition Bureau on July 1st, 2017, rest assured, realtors will begin getting nailed because they love you and because realtors love each other, right? So here's what you can do right away. First, we go into a contact profile. We're almost done. We go into a contact profile. I'm going to go back to this Kane. I go into my email information, right? And I've got this guy's name and I've got his email address. And I see here that I got consent. And you guys understand this whole thing about consent. You need implied, you need express. You want express consent. You had, from July 1st, 2014 to July 1st, 2017, what they call the grandfather period, where you're able to kind of screw up and kind of mess up on consent and all that stuff. And nobody's really like, people are kind of like closing their eyes to it. But come July 1st, 2017, this thing becomes official. So what do? First of all, track every time you get an email address from somebody. Hey, Bob, can I get your email? Yeah, Dave, here you go. Hey, Bob, do I have your express consent to email you? Yeah, sure, Dave. He's not even paying attention to what he just said, but I am. So I'm going back to the system. I'm going to the date. I'm saying it was on July 11th that he gave it to me. I'm putting in the fact that he gave me express consent because now I've got unlimited amounts of time to email him. All I got to do is include my 4 mandatory requirements. And now he's going to be on my email list. And at any time he can subscribe. But there is no expiry to that. So what can you do based on all this CASL legislation stuff? Use it as an excuse to call your contacts. Hey, Steve, it's Dave. Just updating my contact list. Notice I got your email. Just wanted to confirm that I do have your express consent to email you. Yeah, Dave, no problem. Wonderful. Thanks, Steve. Let me just update those records. And so again, if I had implied, I'd go to now update to express, November 23rd. I got express consent. I'd hit save. Now, I'm going to go a little further here because I'm a little bit, I don't know, particular. I'm going to go into my notes, and I'm also going to say that he gave me, gave me express consent on November 23rd, and, I could even say over the phone. Save. And now, in my activities, I also have a note of when I express consent. So I'm tracking it in a multitude of different ways, and God forbid Steve goes and shoots off my email to the CRTC and says, this guy's spamming me without consent. I got a record here that says I got it. So again, this is the type of stuff you want to do. So there's the third easy takeaway. Pick up the phone and use it as an excuse. Pick up the phone, call people, say what's up, ask them for express consent, track the notes, update your system, and now again, you've done your touch point. Take that person, schedule them ahead in your calendar, and get predictable days with income-producing activities. So those three easy takeaways. Number one, life events. Do the phone calls, do the touch points, track it, note it, move it ahead. Number two, do the geo search. Use it as an excuse to pick up the phone. How you doing? Here's the value of your house. I was thinking about you. Random calls. Yes, they can get email. Yes, you can email them. Yes, they can find it out on their own on realtor.ca or MLS.com. But the reality, if you place that phone call to people, there's the value add. There's the my realtor. And the third takeaway, CASA legislation, July 1st, 2017. You guys have about 7 months, 8 months to deal with this now? Deal with it now. Don't deal with it July 1st, 2017 because you'll be too late. And you cannot use email to do this. So again, use it as a touch point. Pick up the phone and call them. Go see them. Do those things. And of course, you got the holidays now. Do what you got to do. On that note, I'm going to leave you with this. We got a really awesome homepage, like I told you. I've shared a whole bunch of information about it. If anybody's got questions, if you have a CRM and you want to review some of this stuff, let me know. If you want to re-watch this webinar, we're going to get this up online. We're going to have the recorded version of it. And if you want to take a few more minutes and review some of these features, do it. If you want to set up a one-to-one, let me know. And like I said before, check us out on Facebook, like our page, follow us. We've got awesome content on there, a lot of free content that you can steal, reshare it on your own social media, and now you got a social media presence. But your CRM, predictable days, income-producing activities, use the calendar, use the contact list, and make sure it's connected to marketing. Guys, with that, thank you. Way longer than 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I do see I got a ton of questions here. I'm going to try to blast through those. For those of you that got to run, again, much appreciated. We're looking forward to having you back the next time. I will do my best to really stay on time next time. I'm sorry. Just so much to say up here. For those of you that know me, you know that. For those of you that don't, value add, right? Little brush strokes. Paint the big picture. I'm here to help you. So, here we go. I've got somebody who wants to know about a painter. Thank you, Jeff. Let's do this. So, I had a question here. When I send out a mass email, does it automatically enter a note into the contacts in which the email was sent? Yes, it does. So when you go into Loop, you click on Marketing, and you click on e-news, and you send out that email, it's going to go to all the people that you sent that email to, and it's going to put a note in that activity tab that I mentioned to you that says they got the email. So for example, all of you are obviously in my contact list. That's how you got invited today. With that, if I go to each one of your contact profiles, I will see in the activities tab that you received my webinar invitation. You probably received 2 of them in the past few days. So yes, it does update that note for you. In terms of team sharing calendars, the calendar is wonderful for teams. It is very slick. It's very useful. We internally operate very much like that, and I got a lot of clients across, both countries that are using it as teams. So again, the idea here is, depending on how your team structure is, I get this come up a lot. We have a team. We have a partnership. How does this thing work? Well, it depends how you want to work it. You see, are you having one account? And everybody's logging into that same account, it works. Are you having multiple accounts and you want people to start sharing stuff? It works. So again, easily, and if you're looking at your screen, clicking the share function and figuring out who you want to share it with. It obviously does mean that we're going to need, if there's 2 or 5 or 10 individuals or 25 or whatever, each person have their own account so we can start sharing calendars and sharing contact lists. So yes, it really does work wonderfully. If you want to get into that deeper, let us know. We'll let you. We'll explain how to do that. Yes, again, much the same. If a contact of yours does have kids, could you start sharing? You could. Again, I would want to have an individual conversation with you on that. Guys, I've got my own My own 2 cents about sharing contacts. You guys really work hard to build your relationships and do things with people. The one big problem is if you start sharing things, what happens down the road if things don't work out the same way you want them to? So again, there's a big thing about sharing. The ability to do it is there, yes. Let's make sure strategically it's the right thing for you. Labeling. So we're asking about labeling. Can you label different contact types? How does that work? Well, let's go in there. We're going to click on a contact again. Go to relationship keys. You click on that. Again, you can categorize your contacts A's, B's, C's, however they are. You can start to create those custom groups. So yes, you can start to create the group where you're asking, buyers, contractors, whatever they be. You can go ahead and start to label that. Now, if you put in something like, and I said this before, tradespeople, you might put in subgroup painter and hit save. And now what you've got is you've got this individual under category B. You've got them filtered by group as well as by subgroup. And so if you really want to break it down and go, show me all of my tradespeople, and then start to go, show me all my painters, you can do that through the system by using these fields right here. In relationship keys, great question. So again, if you choose a certain language, is the communication sent in that language? Yes. There's the magic of kits. We are the only system out there that is using what's called variable data publishing, VDP, taking different pieces of data and using them to communicate to your contacts. So figure this. Let's just take an arbitrary number of 100 contacts. You got 100 people on a contact list, and you want to start to be really personal with people. Now, for those of you that already have, let's just say, because this is very particular to our direct mail newsletter, for those of you that have a newsletter, does your newsletter change languages? Does it talk to people, different relationship types, different house types? And I'm talking breaking it down, not just saying yes, they're in a condo, because it's a condo apartment or a condo townhouse. Are they renters, are they owners? So all this different data that's on this screen, from language to relationship to house type to holidays, we use it all to personalize each individual piece of paper for each individual contact. Sounds crazy? We write over 675 variations of content, articles every single month. And that's what brings together the uniqueness and the effectiveness of this true one-to-one newsletter. So yes, if you choose a language, it's not going to be the entire thing. It's going to be the first paragraph. But again, if you put my name in there, Dave, Mr. David, Mr. Greenspan, hey buddy, whatever, and I notice my name, I'm still looking. Then I see that language I recognize, I'm still looking. Then we get back into English and we go for the call to action. So again, yes, it will tag them with that language. Yes, asking about mailing labels, you can do that. You go back to your contact list, as was mentioned before. You'd select all. You go down to the bottom, hit mailing label. It's going to let you know what size label to put in there for you. And again, you've got that. Again, emails will be tracked in the history. Yes, that's a Maple Leaf jersey on my wall. I love my Leafs. I live and die by my Leafs. Bleed blue and white. Go Leafs, go. Gotta love some of my friends on here. What do you got? Email newsletters. Very easy. You go in. Yes, we've got email newsletters. So again, you go into marketing. You go into e-news. By going into e-news, you'll click on e-news contacts. This is really easy to do. And this is cool because you got the filtering at the top as well. So you could sit back and say, just show me my realtors. Why would you do that? Well, you might be doing an open house this upcoming weekend. You want to put like 3 photos in there about the house. You want to invite people to the house, but you want to invite specifically your realtors. So you can do that. You can use it as a newsletter. You get up to 1,000 send-outs a month at no additional cost included in the program. Use it, abuse it, make it work for you. With that, you click on all, just for the sake of this today. We're going to create new email. By creating new email, we're going to see here that we've got 3 or 4 different articles that Kits is going to write for you, pre-written every single month with a subject line. So you look at some of the articles, you see if you like them, if you don't like them. If you don't like one of them, you can take it out. Maybe you take out a few of them. Maybe you want to go in and add your own article. Guys, I got to tell you, for those of you that do use this religiously, you guys have done some wicked stuff with it, like stuff I didn't even know I was able to do, but people are bringing in links and photos and different promo things. And I mean, this thing is really awesome, and people love the fact that you can go in there and tap away on it anytime you want. In fact, the email you received from me for the webinar invitation was created right here. So again, you can create your own custom article, you can create your own subject line, save and preview. It's going to bring in your branding, it's going to bring in the individual recipient's name as you saw in the email I sent you, and again, the content that's in there, along with the mandatory requirements for the new CASA legislation. You can preview the list before sending and go ahead and hit send. We yesterday again, I'm just going to go back over this one for a second. We were talking yesterday, I was speaking with somebody, and I think this is a good one for everybody because this is really slick stuff. You go into a contact, and you got somebody that you're actively working with. And again, like I said before, you got this major contact list of people, and now what you want to do is start to sort through who's what. So we've labeled this person as an active buyer, right? We've had a lead come in, and now we want to make sure we're on top of that lead. Depending on how many accounts we have, are we sharing this? Is it from different people? Or is it one account like we talk about, and we're going to have everything there on our home page? So now, going back to contact list, you see here, not everybody is active with us. So those people that aren't active, hey, visible in your contact list. Those people that are active, visible in your contact list. However, when you go to the home page, here's where you're going to be able to see your active buyers and be able to scroll through who's active on your list, your active leads, right? So when you've got those leads, everything's going to filter right down for you here. And again, depending on how you use your CRM, and I think that that's a conversation for us to work through to see what's the best way to do it. But depending on how you use your CRM, you're going to have all the information right there for you. Again, we can review that in more detail for sure. We can upload contacts from anywhere. Guys, we do not do a direct upload to the system from any one particular program, except we do use an Excel spreadsheet to make it happen. That limits viruses. That allows for the most clean, usable data to go into the system. It also allows us to get the formatting of the different things like the variable, the relationship, the languages, and just make it really, really easy to load stuff in. So if you've got something like Outlook and you want to take your contact list from Outlook and put it into the system, do an export in Excel or CSV file, stick it in an email, send it to us, we'll get it in there for you. Beyond that, if you want to add like ones and twos into the system, literally go to your contact list, hit add new, and you can go ahead and start adding people in there. Great question there. What does Loop look like on a mobile? Well, here, if I show you real quick, and I'll see if you guys can see this on my screen here. But I'm going to go in on my phone because I use this all the time on my phone. And exactly, it's going to operate very similarly to an app. Okay, so we've got the mobile device. It's very similar. It's obviously got an application layout to it. All the stuff is there. So again, if you guys are watching the scroll bar here, sorry, I'm just watching my screen to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here, right? But the point is, yes, everything is there. I've got my calendar there. I've got my contact list. You see a whole menu of everything. I can click on my calendar, and I can see the different items I've got there again. So how easy is it to go ahead and put this stuff in? Go on your browser on your phone. It's not an app from the App Store. Why? Because this way you don't need to synchronize anything. Apps and the mobile way of doing this, it's all working the exact same. I can tell you, for me, I've got it right here on my home page as an icon. So it operates identical to an app, really, really slick. And again, fully mobile. And there's no synchronization involved. So everything we do here is happening right there for us. Just really, really easy to manage. You can log in from many different places. Again, so fully mobile. So here, quickly, how to get it on mobile? Go online on your browser, on mobile, go to kitspack.com. Open up the Loop login page. Click login. So put in your login information. Then save it to your desktop, like save it to your home screen. And now it's going to operate identical to an app for you. If you need help with that, again, call us. We're here. On the home page, again, does it show how many contacts are touched? There are ways to track that stuff. It depends what kind of reports, what kind of queries you're looking to run, and the validity of those, and sort of, why we're looking at those numbers. But again, there are ways to make the system work. I'd like to break that down with you individually. You know who you are that asked that question. Absolutely. Can you put in contacts that you aren't sending anything to? Yes, you can, guys. Now, that's going to take making sure that you got a Kits Plus account type. And the real big difference there is this. When you go into a contact profile, And my apologies, we're like way beyond 20 minutes, but this is good. I got most of you still here with us, and there's a lot of questions. So this is awesome stuff. Thank you for asking. So you go in here, Kit's account type, pardon me. We click on a contact. Here's the difference. If you've got a Kit's account, you cannot uncheck this box right here, which means everybody on your list is going to receive a direct mail newsletter. No cost for the CRM. If you've got a Kits Plus account, you now have that ability to uncheck people. Therefore, they're not designated for direct mail. You're not paying for them to have direct mail. They can be in the system. You can send them email if you want. You can turn them on for direct mail whenever you want, or do nothing but just have them in there. Yes, you can do that. That is at an additional cost of $17.95 per month. You've now got complete CRM functionality. You've got everything you need. Because otherwise, if you wanted to put somebody in there and they're obligated to get direct mail, well, the minute that you want to take them off direct mail, you actually have to delete them from the system. Kind of a bummer. History, notes, reminders, all gone. In this case now, what you're able to do is track it all, keep it all in there, and pick and choose what you want to do with it. So yes, that's totally possible. If you do want to upgrade your account or get a Kits Plus account, please let us know. We're here for you. Depending on how you set up your calendar depends on where your reminders come up. Depending on how you set up your day-to-day. Again, it depends on how you work your calendar. So in terms of pop-ups, there are reminder windows. There are flags within your calendar. If you set yourself auto reminders to come to you, it'll let you know. So again, there are ways to certainly track what you have and haven't done. It is coming down, and guys, this is the big thing about CRM. This is part of where this whole thing came from. Was because there's so much CRM out there. And there's so many bells and whistles, and I'd say like a lot of it's like lipstick on a pig, right? There's so many different things that it could do for you, but the reality is, like, does it need to do that stuff? Some of it, not all of it, and some things you're going to find useful, and some things other people are going to find useful. But the key is making it work the way it's best for you, and using certain features just to really get out there and talk to people. Because end of the day, it's supposed to help us schedule ourselves, remember who to be in touch with, and then again help us when we're not able to do it ourselves. So again, if you've got a CRM that doesn't have the outputs, what good is it doing for you? As you create an email, can you save it for later? Absolutely. The minute you hit save and preview, that actual email will be in the system until you go and change it. At the same time, too, if we do update an email, in about 3 weeks, when kind of like monthly we update the emails, you will be able to go in there, update those, see what's there. When we update the email, pardon me, there's going to be a new set of content in there. So again, you got a certain window of time to be able to use that. And then lastly, and we'll end off here unless anybody else has a question, because I know I've totally gone way past now. About 3 times longer than expected. But again, automated email. Right now, the system is very manual in terms of the email. The feedback has just been phenomenal, and people love to be able to go in there and pump out as many as they want or as few as they want without that obligation. At the same time, too, because of this CASL legislation, I'm so weary of email for you guys. Like, I'm really worried about it. I'm scared that you guys aren't taking it serious enough, that you guys haven't done the right things to be able to make sure that you're prepared for it. So again, that's the type of thing that we are coming out with an automated email. It is in the drawing board. It is being built because there is a lot of requests for it, so we will have that feature for you very, very shortly. Never over-promising or under-delivering, but the point is we will have that for you shortly. Beyond that, again, the manual email has been a just amazing, amazing, amazing feature. So to that, again, now that I've literally taken 60 minutes of your day, and I thank you for being here with us, to all of you across Canada and the United States, thank you. If anybody does have any other questions, let me know. We're here for you. 905-731-7455. My email, david@kitspack.com. And like I've shown you, and now for the 3rd time, check us out on Facebook, @Kitspack. Like our page. Join us. We've got lots of fun stuff happening. Lots of great content. Lots of videos. That said, guys, thank you for your time. If anybody does want to talk further, I'm here for you. Let's set up a call. Let's get together with each other, and let's start reviewing some more stuff. Oh, we see a few more coming through. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Yes, we will. Log in on the mobile. This is a common one. Few things, guys. Autocorrect. Who doesn't love autocorrect? Hate autocorrect. Make sure your login, your user ID and password, it is case sensitive, so be wary of that when you go in and you type in your username. Make sure you know like uppercase, lowercase. The phone is going to try to correct that for you. Again, make sure that you're paying attention to that. Your password obviously being the same as what you'd use to log on to the desktop. Same login credentials, just watch for your uppercase and lowercase. That's probably the problem you're having. And keep in mind too, guys, when you're logging into Loop, it's Loop login, it's not login. Okay, so again, it's not just here. Actually, let's do this. Log out, leave page. Let's go to home. We're on the kits homepage, and this is our website homepage, our main site. Up at the top right-hand corner, do not click login. Click Loop login. Okay, so that's how you're going to get into the Loop systems, by clicking Loop login. With that, guys, thank you. Appreciate everybody's time. Again, it's been a wonderful hour together. I hope that there's been a ton of value. I hope you take those 3 takeaways of life events, GeoSearch, and CASA legislation. Act on it immediately. Start keeping in touch with your contacts. Write your notes. Put it in your calendar. Stay tracked. Predictable days, income-producing activities. Always building mindshare. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.